modern West, matter has come to be viewed as inanimate. And of course that means, inanimate means without anima, without animus, without soul, soulless. That matter is soulless, denuded of that sacred life that we call soul. Of course, that would seem to suggest a mandate to do what we will with matter, because it lacks a sacred significance. So we speak commonly of inanimate matter, but what do we say when we say that? This notion reinforces what is, alas, a long-standing debasement of the material world, considered as opposite to and inferior to the upper world of the heavens, which are pure and luminous, whereas this world below is a fallen place. But there's another point of view, and that point of view comes through very strongly in Murshid's teaching. Murshid, you know that we so often think of getting beyond this world, rising above it, becoming angelic, leaving these bodies behind, these messy, illness-prone bodies of flesh that we wear, transcending this. But Murshid tells us that the angels, the beings fresh, blown from the wellspring of eternity, throng toward the horizon of becoming, surge toward matter, toward form, toward incarnation, joyously. And whereas for us, the heavens, the spiritual world, seems a place of great fascination and holy mystery, for the angels, matter is the great mystery. And this is reflected in words of ecstasy uttered by the great Thoreau on Mount Katahdin while hiking in the burnt land, and suddenly standing among those great monolithic rocks, he said, "I stand in awe of my body. This matter to which I am bound has become so strange to me. I fear not spirits, ghosts, of which I am one, but I fear bodies. I tremble to meet them. What is this Titan that has possession of me? Talk of mysteries. Think of our life in nature, daily to be shown matter, to come in contact with it. Rocks, trees, wind on our cheeks, the solid earth, the actual world, the common sense. Contact. Who are we? Where are we?" You can see the urgency of the language. It's the grammar itself is chopped and quick with the fast flood of the enchantment and mystery of physical contact with the living mountain and sky. And this is what Murshid evokes in his discussion of spirit and matter. He acknowledges these words, but says that they're not contraries. Spirit is matter, and matter is spirit. Spirit is to matter as water is to ice. The denseness of spirit is matter, and the fineness of matter is spirit. He says a house is built with matter, but made with spirit. It's the same thing. It's the same house. Seen from one point of view, it's matter. Seen as a home, experienced as a home, it's spirit. And Murshid says it is not only spirit that is the being of God, matter is the being of God too. He goes on to say, the conception that the physical body is made of sin, and that this is the lowest aspect of being, will very often prove to be a mistake. For it is through this physical body that the highest and the greatest purpose of life is to be achieved. A person only calls it his physical body in ignorance. Once the knowledge has come to him, he begins to look upon it as the sacred temple of God. Now, David Abram in his work also points out that we have a habit of thinking of the mind as something internal. And within our movement, we have a school of esotericism, which we call the inner school. We speak of the inner life. And this kind of language can give the impression that we're going somehow into some private interior space separate from the world, somehow within the body or within ourselves. But Murshid says, all that is visible or invisible seems to be outside, but in reality, it is in our mind. It is outside because our minds see it outside, but it is within us because the mind surrounds it. It is accommodated in our mind. Mind is an accommodation of the world which is outside. Now, when Murshid uses this word accommodation, he means akash. He means akash, which also is rendered in Sufi language as asman, which is a sky. So mind is the atmosphere, the interbreathing of all breathing beings. And mind isn't something that looks out as though from inside of the body. The mind is all that we comprehend. And we all partake of the mingled breaths of all beings. And we personalize, as it were, we incarnate mind through the faculties, through the perceptual modalities of this body, and so it is individualized. And there is certainly great diversity in the differences between all organisms and all things, and yet we partake commonly of common atmospheres from which we draw. Murshid, moreover, insists that the planet itself is living. If the planet on which we live had no intelligence, it could not have intelligent beings on it. For what is nature? Nature is the development of the planet. The planet has developed into organic nature and has culminated in human beings, intelligent beings, and it still remains a planet. So the planet, you might say, reaches up from its core. It unfolds itself. And we're not on the planet, we are in the planet, because the whole atmosphere is the breath of the earth, and we ourselves are earthlings of the earth, like all of the other earthlings with whom we share our lives. And as much as the life of the earth has manifested itself in ourselves and so many other beings, it remains itself a life, not limited to that which we represent. The Quran Sharif says, the seven heavens and the earth and all that is therein praises him, and there is nothing that does not hymn his praise, but you do not understand their praise. Everything praises God, everything.